Our main channel sponsor, My Business Group, a group of brands designed to support owners, leaders and managers in business. If you're looking to grow your business, contact mybusinessgroup.co.uk today for more information or follow the link in the description below. Today's Ramble is sponsored by Wellstoned Landscapes. From lawn to luxury, creating outdoor elegance. Wellstoned Landscapes covers most areas of Yorkshire. If you mention the Ramble, you'll receive 10% off any work. Call Paul or find him on Facebook in the details below.
Like and subscribe to Blade Ramble.
What is happening, Blades? And welcome back to the Blades Ramble. I am, of course, Jimmy. This is your countdown to kick off ahead of our trip to the Valley. Today has been a good day. I hope you're all doing very well. It's been a busy day for me, but there's some exciting news to come out tomorrow. If you follow me on X, then you might have already seen a little bit of a teaser. If you're a Platinum Rambler, you definitely know what's going on. So, yeah, very excited for some new exciting projects in the works. Also recorded a couple of bits with Carl Fowler today and Conor McGilligan. We're on Added Time, which is a show on Connor's channel. So he's asked me if I'll go and tell everybody to go and watch it over there. But stay here with us for now before you go and do that, because we're talking about Sheffield United going to Charlton, who, look, this always casts me back, this fixture, to when Chris Wilder returned. We'd had such a terrible time under Ruben Sayers, but it was fine because we had Charlton at home, the lowest ranked team across the league. If you think in terms of, they were the League One playoff winners, so they finished the lowest out of all the 24 teams last season. They finished the lowest, and we should therefore have felt confident going in against them when Chris Wilder comes back, brings all this momentum. And we could not get the job done, could we? They sat in two very disciplined, very well organised banks of four, and we could not break them down. There was so much, it's where we sort of unpicked it, there was so much work still to do in terms of turning the squad around. And since then, I strongly believe that has happened. You know, you've got to be, I would say it's certainly a strong B for me in my report card for where we've been. The season as a whole is certainly not. But in terms of the turnaround, you've got to be happy with the turnaround. I think we've improved in key areas. Jairo Riedeveld and Patrick Bamford have undoubtedly made us stronger. There's other news that's come out this week since we were last on, where we've officially terminated our link now with James Board's company, the AI guru, that is now interested in taking over at Sheffield Wednesday. Best of luck to you, lads. Best of luck to you. If you want any of our boys that you brought in for AI purposes, we can talk about it. It'll cost you, but we can talk about it. Pierce Charles gone down injured for them for a couple of months as well, so they can't sell him this window. Things aren't looking great. Could it be a -15 for the old Owls next season? But look, we don't concern ourselves with League One action. This is a Championship show because we're a Championship club. So we're playing Charlton at the weekend. Been a bit of a gap for our first team, and I think it's fair that we say that. There were 10 changes made for the last time out against the disappointing performance against Mansfield. There's no getting away from it, but it's done now. It's in the rear view. With the silver lining out of it. It's not a good thing that we're out of the cup. I wouldn't try and twist it and say that it was, but the silver lining out of it all is that we now have a lighter schedule than some of the other teams around us in what will be a very busy Championship calendar. So the team, I usually look at last time's team, last time's 11, but I don't think that'll have any relevance at all going into this game, showing you the Mansfield team. I think there's going to be significant changes. So the last League 11 for Sheffield United was as follows. It was Michael Cooper in goal. It was a back four of Sariki, Tanganga, Bindon and McCallum. In the middle, it was Jairo Riedeveld and Jibril Samari with Arblaster on the bench. On the right, it was Andre Brooks. On the left, it was Callum O'Hare. And up front, it was Tom Cannon and Patrick Bamford. And that team was good enough to see off Leicester City quite comfortably. 3-1 in the end, it finished, I think, from memory. But it was certainly a 3-0 game. And I would be very surprised to see anything other than us return to something like this. In fact, I'll go straight to my predicted lineup, which is almost the same team. Every player is the same, apart from I'm bringing Ollie Arblaster in for Jibril Samari. Now, some people didn't rate Arblaster's performance as highly as I did in the Mansfield game. Neither Samari nor Arblaster covered themselves in glory, but I thought Blaster was slightly better than Samari. A lot of people think that Blaster was poor on the day, and that's where it's all about opinions, isn't it? But I predict that the lineup will be as follows. It'll be Michael Cooper in goal. I think, again, it'll be Femi, Japhet Tanganga, Tyler Binden, and Sam McCallum as the back four. The two in midfield that I've gone for are Gyro Riedeveld and Ollie Arblaster. There is a chance that Sidney Peck comes in. His press conference is at 9 o'clock on Friday morning, I believe. I am in a 90-day planning session with my business group, so I won't be able to watch the presser live. Thankfully, we have some great people involved in the Ramble now. I am going to have a transcript made for me. Thank you to Batman Lou for that. I will also get a recording of the press conference, and I'll be watching the press conference, or listening to the press conference, should I say, on my way back from my business group, that 90-day session, and then you will get a lukewarm off the presser later in the afternoon. So I can't do it directly afterwards, but it's so important that we attend these things to help continue the growth of the channel and how we're planning things for next year. And it's not one I can miss. In fact, if there's one thing I'm not going to miss, it's a 90-day planning session. So we'll be there. He's got his press conference, so we'll know whether Sidney Peck is available to start. And I think in an ideal world, he doesn't start Sidney, but it depends on how he sees Blaster's progress and whether he thinks Samari's done enough to stay in the team. It wouldn't surprise me at all to see Sidney line up here. I think Sidney will definitely be in the squad. I think pre-Mansfield, he said, if it had been a league game, we could potentially push Sidney to play in this game, but there's no point risking it for the cup when we've got alternatives that we can utilise. So if he was fit last Saturday or last Sunday, then he'll be fit for this Saturday, won't he? Excuse me. He's still going to be a little bit rusty, so it's not guaranteed to start. That's why I've gone with the safer option of thinking Blaster will start. But don't be surprised if Sidney lines up next to Gyro. Callum O'Hare on the left. Blades Ramble drip. What a man Callum is, by the way. Andre Brooks on the right, and Tom Cannon and Pat Bamford are leading two. Not a dispute for me. Obviously, everything is subjective, but I think these two have earned their place at the top of the pitch in the starting lineup. Patrick Bamford signing a new deal for 18 months, which is an incredible... it's an ambitious move from Sheffield United. I'm really pleased that we've made the move to sign him for such a long time. I think it probably means certainly if we don't get promoted, we'll need to do some outs. But I wouldn't mind operating with a thinner squad, but of a higher quality of individual. So you've just got to make sure you can manage his fitness. That's the only concern I've got over Bamford, is keeping him fit. So that's my predicted lineup. And my team is exactly the same. Exactly the same. I really like it as a lineup. As I say, I'm not going to be upset if Sidney Peck comes in for Ollie Arblaster. Ollie Arblaster's still not at the peak of his powers. But again, I certainly won't be disappointed if Blaster lines up either. So yeah, that's what I think might happen. How did Charlton line up in their last home? Look, we're not talking about the defeat to Chelsea in the Cup. How did they line up last time out against Blackburn Rovers, where they drew 2-2 at Ewood Park? They play a funny old formation. They play, let's have a look at this, a 3-1-4-2. That's how they line up on all their latest games. It's Connor Coventry that sits in front of the back three. Lloyd Jones, the captain, is one to watch as well. I've got him on the thumbnail for the watch-along, because we're doing a watch-along, bear in mind. So if you can't get any coverage of the game, come and join us for a watch-along of Charlton versus Sheffield United. That's what you get for having a VPN and being able to buy the game off the club, because you're going on holiday and you're not going to be in the country. So yeah, join us for the watch along for that. But their very own Tyrese Campbell, somebody to have a look at. Connor Coventry, I rate as a decent player. Leeburn and Kelman as a pairing up front. James Bree. James Bree's an interesting one because I think he's gone back. Now, let me know in the comments whether he's actually returned to Southampton. He's due to, and his last contracted day with Charlton is the 17th of January. That's what I'm reading today as I'm preparing for this. It's the 17th of January, and that is the date that we play Charlton. So, technically speaking, if he's not been recalled, his last contracted day as a Charlton player is the day that we play them. So he could play against us. But they've also signed Harry Clark in the meantime. Obviously, Sheffield United showed an interest in the right back that was on loan at Sheffield United last season. He's signed on loan from Ipswich at right back. So that's obviously to cover for James Bree. Whether James Bree starts the game and Harry Clark, who's not had many minutes, then comes on to replace him and he's then his replacement for the rest of the season for Charlton, we'll have to wait and see. But James Bree, will he play? Will he not play? I think there's that's going to be up in the air. As I say, we are doing a watch along Saturday from 2:30 p.m. It'll be myself at the moment. I've not confirmed if anybody is going to be joining me yet, but we'll wait and see what happens. It might just be one that I jump on and bring to you myself. So we'll have to wait and see for that. The championship table, as it looks at the moment, we are 15th. Having played 25 games, won 10, drawn 2 and lost 13 with a -2 goal difference. Charlton are 19th, only 3 points behind us, to be fair. But they've drawn a lot more games than us. They've only won 7, but they've only lost 10 compared to our 13. So obviously our horrendous start has to come into consideration for that. But they're no mugs. They're no mugs. And I think we've got to show the appropriate respect to a Nathan Jones team who knows how to set his team up as spoilers. The only thing I would say is we are away from home, and there may be an expectation from them that they have to come on to us a little bit. We'll have to wait and see whether that's going to be the case. But they've not won in the league for 5 games was the last win, 5 games ago. 6 if you count the Chelsea loss. I've got the key man here as Lloyd Jones as well. And yeah, let's find out what you guys think. My score prediction, I want to hear yours as well. Just to finish off from my initial ramblings, I think we beat them 2-0. I think we beat them 2-0. I think they come out at us, and then we get them, we catch them, and then they have to come out again to sort of change the tide, and we'll catch them again. Personally, that's how I think it'll go. I think our strongest 11 is too good for them. I certainly hope that's the case, because we need to stay on track here. There's not a lot more missteps we can afford to take in the league if we are going to do something about this season. Games will soon start to run out, and we have to start turning these narrow games that we could have maybe accepted a point at earlier in the season. We have to now go there and win. That's in my opinion. Right, so let's get to your comments, see what you guys are saying. Excuse me. About my loose starts us off. Evening, Jim. Clearly, we don't need to fear this lot, but they're steady at home. They're better players and mostly defensive ones, though, including Cal's Reborn, Cafu, James Bree. Yeah, if you haven't seen the Jimmy and Cal show from earlier this week, Cal does a bit of a breakdown on Charlton and how they can potentially hurt us. So if that's something you're interested in, seeing a little bit more about the opposition, and we do a bit of a combined 11 every week as well. So if you're interested in that, do give that a watch. They seem to rely on Carey and Kelman for goals. I think we'll go there and win, says Lou. Team picks itself for me, factoring in that City might need to be eased back in. Cooper, Sariki, Tanganga, Bindon, McCallum, Brooks, Arblaster, Riedeveld, and O'Hare, and Cannon and Bamford. That is the exact same team as I've picked, and that shows that the team is starting to pick itself, certainly after that Mansfield performance. Thank you, Lou. Good evening, Ramble family, says Bright. Hope everyone is well, and as ever, please keep the chat nice and clean, no shouting, and enjoy your time here on the Best Blades channel. Thank you, mate. Ontario Blade says, hi, Jimmy. The team for Charlton picks itself after Sunday. Cooper, Sariki, Tanganga, Bindon, McCallum, Gyro, then Pecco Blaster next to him. Brooks, Callum O'Hare, Platinum Rambler, Callum O'Hare, the Platinum Rambler, Cannon and Bamford up front. Do. Bamford is a Rambler. Up the Worldwide Blades Ramble, up the Blades, like and subscribe. Thank you, my mate. Jim, will you be doing a review of the halfway season performance where we can give you our we can give you our United report year-to-date report cards on the team. It's fun to see the different options Blades have on the team's performance. Yeah, okay. Well, I'll have a think about that, pal. Yeah, we're over halfway through, aren't we now? But we can look at doing something like that. Wow, great job on your garden, Jimmy, says Ray. It's not my garden. But thank you anyway. That's Wellstone Landscapes for you who do a great job. And thank you for their support of the channel. Okay, back to winning ways, Blades. I'm going 1-3. Get it done, Blades. Up the Blades, up all the rambles. Like and subscribe. Thank you, Ray. Hope you're well, mate. Jack says, I think it'll be the same team that played against Leicester. I'll be surprised at any changes. There's only Samari for Blaster that I'm pumping for, Jack, but it could well be Samarian for Blaster. Ian says, evening, Jimmy. Confident the first string will get us back on track. Goals are still flowing. So going for a 3-0 win. Come on, you red and white Wizards. Love that, mate. Love that. Bisto Brett says, I'm going 4-0 Blades. No disrespect to Charlton at all. Very organised team, but I think Wilder will sort it after Mansfield and go back to the first 11. I'll be there, and I always win away. Up all the positive ones. Up the Andy de Blade. I don't know. Don't know what that is. Jack says, think we'll sign anyone else? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I think there's rumours that Matos is on his way out, isn't there? There was, in Danny All's latest article, apparently, and I haven't read it yet, and I will, but it alludes to the fact that Samari may be able to be terminated. If that's the case, then we'll be in for a centre midfielder. Dan Neil is the rumoured name. That would level us up, I think. I think that's a really good signing, potentially. I hope we smash him because I'm going, says Chris. There's a few Ramblers going down. Andy the Blades going down. Rich Carrington, Jordan Motson, Jamie Dumpling. Jamie Dumpling is doing a ramble on the road for us. Fraz says, Jimmy, keep up the good work. One question for you. Not seen that Billy lad on here in a wee while. Just wanted to make sure if he's okay. Thought his opinions were a good listen. Not Billy Sir, yes. He's not been on for a little while, has he? So, no, he's... I've not spoken to him for a little while in all truth, Fraser, but if he's watching, I'm sure he can either answer for you, and I hope he's doing more than well, but no reason to believe he's not. One overseas, says Kev. Jack says, Pector coming off the bench, maybe. John says, good lineup and strong bench, up the Blades and up the Ramble, top man. Kel says, Jimmy, that sounds like a great lineup, up the Blades, up behind the Ramble. Like and subscribe, let's get this channel to 11k. Thank you very much, Kel. Daz says, I thought there Campbell was injured. He might be, pal. That was the lineup last time out. So, excuse me. Let's have a little look. Previous Oppo 11. Yeah, he played for him last time out, didn't he? Number 7 there. And he caused us some issues last time, from what I remember. He also says, I'll keep saying those 6 points thrown away at Preston and Wrexham. And if we're to win our game in hand, that'd be 9 points and would put us where? I assume the playoffs, but we're not talking about it yet. We're not talking about it. Bry says, now that Do was extended, Jim, does our sponsorship continue for the whole season? Yes, it does, Bry. Yes, it does. Best thing on Saturday, I get a personal watch along by my boy, the famous Jordan Motson. Can't wait. Yeah, that'll be class. That'll be class. Bryce says, please like, subscribe and share the channel. Costs no and really helps us build the channel. You can really help by telling other people about us. Your recommendation is a powerful thing. 11k, come on. Nice one, Bry. Thank you, mate. Really appreciate your support. Ontario Blade says, hi, Jimmy. Welcome to Toronto on Saturday to watch the game. Thank you, mate. Yeah, I'll come over and see you in Toronto, actually. I think that's probably where we'll go. Sheila says, anything about Burrows and Hamer rumour? Hope all is well, Jim. Honest truth is, I don't know, Sheila. I can only tell you my gut feeling. I have stopped asking the questions because, you know, nothing good comes from being ITK. Or, you know, even if you know little bits, it doesn't always benefit to share. But just being completely honest with you, I don't know whether there's legs in it or not. I fully expect rumours to be rife throughout January. My suspicion is it's agents doing their work and trying to get their players' names out there, trying to drum up some interest in their clients. Burrows and Hamer in particular aren't going in the first team at the minute, so they will be jockeying for either just to see what's out there and what their clients could get, but also in negotiations with Sheffield United, like it's Wilder's already spoken about, Gus Hamer, we are discussing already the possibility of a new contract with him because he's got 18 months left to run. You've got to imagine that should he show no interest or we're not able to come close to a new contract with him, that we will be willing to entertain offers for Gus because he will only now depreciate in value. I think the £6 million figure that I've seen touted online, although from a really good source, it seems very low, but we'll have to wait and see. David Vince says, I think 3 goals away, ole, ole. Yeah, we're all right with 3 goals as long as Mansfield don't score 4. 3-1 Blade says, David, up the Blades, up all the Rambles. And Donna says, excited to get 3 points on Saturday. That is very presumptuous, Donna, but I hope you're absolutely bang on. So I'm going to call it there. I want to say thank you very much to everybody for joining me. A shorter ramble today. They tend to be, don't they, these countdown to kickoffs? But I appreciate everybody for joining in. You're always more than welcome. As I say, I won't be directly on after Hot Off the Presser on Friday. It will be a lukewarm off the presser on Friday afternoon. But there will hopefully be a very interesting video out tomorrow on this channel. So if you're not already, it may end up coming out Friday morning if I don't get everything together in time. But if you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you know exactly when the videos are coming. I've got an opportunity to do something tomorrow afternoon, and I'm going to turn it around as quickly as I can, and I'm going to post it as soon as I can. So keep it ramble if you can, as Bryce says, keep it ramble, people. Excited for the game, says Romeo, up the Blades. Rick says, up the Ramble, marching on together. Thank you, my Leeds friend. Meggie says, hi Jimmy, nice to see you. Bam Bam doing well for you. Keep him fit and he'll do a job. Would you let Hamer go? Possibly, yeah. For the right price, in 6 million, isn't it? Like and subscribe, peeps. Up the Ramble. Good luck this season, pal. Thank you, mate. Bryce says 6 mil will be scandalous. Chris also says, Hamer needs to go for me, but not for peanuts. I think that's the general vibe that I'm starting to feel in the fan base. But again, we'd never speak for everybody. So get your opinions in. Let us know in the comments, and we can revisit it on our next stream. And I'll see you very soon. But for now, come on, you red and white wizards. Up the Blades! Shout, shout.